Corpbiz.
Hello everyone, this is Yash Saxena and you are watching Corpbiz. In this video, we will be discussing air and water consent under Air and Water Act. Even though the procedure of establishing an enterprise in India is straightforward, it is nevertheless believed to be time consuming. And getting several approvals from state officials can be challenging and exhausting too. Air and water consent from the State Pollution Control Board, which is required by the Air and Water Act, is one of these approvals that practically all enterprises need. Even though the units are covered by the Hazardous and Other Wastes Management and Transboundary Movement Rules 2016, E-Waste Management Rules 2016, Plastic Waste Management Rules 2016 and Biomedical Waste Management Rules 2016. These laws make it mandatory for industries to obtain air and water consent from authorized departments. Air and Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. State pollution control boards were established in accordance with Section 3 and Section 4 of the Water Act of 1974 and the Air Act of 1981, which were adopted in order to prevent and control the ever-increasing water and air pollution. These acts not only cover the formation of the boards but also the duties that must be performed by such boards. The MOEFCC has categorized the industries according to the pollution index, which is a unit denoting the amount of emission, effluent and hazardous waste generated in these industries. The different types of categories of industries specified by pollution control boards are white category. Industries having the least amount of pollutants releasing is up to 20. The industries that are under white categories are not required to obtain consent to operate. They just require the information to be sent to SPCB or PCC. Green category. Industries having pollution index of 21 to 40 come under the green category. Orange category. Industries that have higher pollution index than 41 to 59 categorized in orange category. Orange category includes lime manufacturing units, glass making industry, pharmaceutical formulation, etc. Red category. Industries coming under the red category as producing the maximum amount of pollution with the highest pollution index score of 60 or above. They are industries that are banned from any ecological fragile area protected area. Any enterprise operation or process that is likely to discharge sewage or trade effluent into the environment or likely to release any air pollution in the atmosphere will have to get consent according to the Water and Air Act's regulation. Therefore, to launch any industry, the manufacturer is required to obtain two sorts of consent. First, consent to establish. Second, consent to operate. Air and water consent to establish, the manufacturer as per the guidelines should obtain the required air and water consent to establish as the primary step into establishing the industry or operating units. Applying for consent to establish, the manufacturer is required to register through the online consent management and monitoring system, that is OCMMS, of the concerned State Pollution Control Board. The application submitted should have all the required information along with the documents mandated to be attached with the application, which is then followed by a mandatory inspection of the unit by the officer of the Pollution Control Committee. The inspection of the unit is accompanied by the review by a respective committee, after which the committee takes the decision. But in case the owner of the industry is unable to establish the industry within the requisite time, then the manufacturer is required to apply for the extension of the certificate for 1 month after the expiration of the certificate, which will be issued after the concerned officer has completed his inspection. Documents required for consent to establish are site plans with image depicting the distance between the proposed site and the nearest residential area and water body. The SSI certificate of partners. The layout design shows the drainage pipeline and final disposal point of wastewater, the collection, disposal and storage of the solid waste, the available land in industrial complex for green belt development, landscaping and other purposes. A qualified professional makes building blueprints with machinery details. Air and water consent to operate is required by the owners when the industry is established as per the stipulated norms under the Act. Along with this, have received consent to establish and the unit is ready to operate. The process to file air and consent to operate involves filing out the mandated application form available online at the site of concerned state pollution authorities is to be filed and uploaded within the mandated guideline. After this, the documents mandated along with the fees are to be submitted on the website. Once the document and fees are uploaded, the submitted application is sent to authorized personnel for review, which is then followed by the site inspection and documentation of detailed analysis report, which is submitted to sub-regional officer. At last, the application is either approved or rejected. Once the air and water consent to operate is granted, the certificate remains in operation for 5 years for the red category, 10 years for orange, 15 years for green category. For consent to operate renewal, you have to apply through online consent management and monitoring system before the expiration of previous consent to operate. The Air and Water Act also states the penalty in case any industry falling into green, orange or red is operating without obtaining consent. Penalty includes imprisonment for term that may extend to 3 months or a fine that may extend to 10,000 rupees or both. The manufacturer or the industry owner is held liable for the punishment. Documents required to obtain DPCC consent to operate are authorization letter, PAN card, Aadhaar card, municipality or industry license, health trade license, factory trade license, proof of registration of unit, CA letter on the total cost of the project, site plan, etc. So, this was all about air and water consent under Air and Water Act. And for more information on it, you can read our blog on www.corpbiz.io and reach out to our team at given numbers. For more such content, please subscribe to our channel Corpbiz.